Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun. Today I want to talk about Maseches Eiruvin Perek Vav Mishnayos Beis and Gimel. Even though I did this last night, I gave the daily double share, the regular Mishnah Yomi share last night, which was the right day. Today is a day late. I did give an Iyun share, but it didn't come out clearly, so I did not upload it, and I want to say it clearly now, and I have a chance to say it. Um, I want to discuss Mishnah Beis over here, paragraph of Mishnah Beis, which we talked about in Mishnah Aleph about a Nachri and a Kusi, whether a Kusi is like a Nachri over here. What do you do when you share a Chatzar or you share a backyard or front yard with a non-Jew? You want to do Erev Chatzar, Shtufim Abuos, what do? So we said in Mishnah Aleph that the residence of a Nachri is not considered a residence on Shabbat. We only consider Jewish people the residents. So it doesn't really ask. There's a problem with there's more than one Nachri. It's a problem because you don't want to live near Nachrim, Shlichas Damim, so you have to be socher. Practically, you have to rent the place from the Goyim, from the non-Jews. We discussed in Mishnah Aleph whether Kusi is like a Nachri. The Mishnah Beis talks about someone else, a Saduki. A Saduki was apparently an ancient group of people who believed in Torah Shebachtav, but not Torah Shebal Peh. So you have a machlokas Tanakama and Rabbi Yehuda about what Rabbi Gamliel felt are about Sadukim. Are Sadukim considered like Nachrim? In which case, the halacha is you have to socher rishos from them. But one of their residences would not be a problem. Or do we say that that he's not like a Nachri? He's like a Yisrael, which is more of a problem actually. He has to mevatel rishos or join in the Eiruvin Chatzirus. And so the Tanakama held, it comes out from Ravadia Bartanura, Tanakama holds that the Tzduki is not like a Nachri. He's not considered a Nachri. We pass like Tzduki is not considered a Nachri. And therefore it's more of a problem. He's considered like a Yisrael. And you have to either he's Mavato or gives you a shus to use his house, or join in the Eiruvin Chatzeros. And Rabbi Yehuda held, we don't hold like that that a Tzduki is like a Nachri. So practically, the halacha l'maisa is that when it comes to Eiruvin Chatzeros, we consider someone who the way of figuring out whether he's Jewish or not is basically whether he's Machal Shabbos for Heska or not. If he'll go out and drive and violate Shabbos publicly, desecrate it publicly, so therefore he's not considered a Jew, even though technically he has a bris milah and he was born Jewish and raised Jewish. If he now is Machal Shabbos for Heska, he ruins the status, at least Gabe Erev Chatzeros. If he's Machal Shabbos B'tzina, meaning publicly he doesn't violate Shabbos, but privately he does, he's still considered a Yisrael. As relates to Tzduki or not. So we pass on the Tanakama that a Tzduki is not considered to be, is considered to be Israel, right? So I believe that a Tzduki, even though there's other explanation that a Tzduki is somebody who keeps the Torah Shabbat, believes in Torah Shabbat, but doesn't believe in Torah Messina, Torah Shabbat Peh, or he believes that Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't given the oral Torah. It's a little more than that. And really a Tzduki comes from, maybe there was a tribe of people called Sadducees. Maybe there was in ancient history, Jewish history. But the Mishnah are meant to apply to all time. Sadduki sounds like Tzadikim. Tzadikim. Now, everyone says Tzadikim are the best people. You ever show me Tzadikim? Tzadikim, right? Alter L'chaim are guaranteed on Rosh Hashanah that they're going to be given life, right? What type of life doesn't tell you the Gemara. But Tzadikim, I don't think Rishonim are totally bad. I don't think Tzadikim are totally good. Everyone says Tzadikim are totally good. Tzadikim, are righteous people. Sometimes they're too righteous. They don't have a good balance. It's good to have a balance. Sometimes it should be a rush. Sometimes it should be a tzaddik. Sometimes it should be a benoni. I believe that's the truth. Saduki sounds like tzaddikim, and I think that is couched in Chazal's words. And if you think about tzaddikim more, you think about some of the gedolim that were referred to as tzaddikim. They're not Machal Shabbos for Hesed. They're not going to go out and drive on Shabbos if they had a license. They're not going to go drive. However, a lot of them, I would say, some of them, they're not the only people, but they're an example of type people that are Machal Shabbos B'tzina. Why Machal Shabbos B'tzina? The point of Shabbos is to rest, right? So, resting, either taking a nap or going to sleep, or playing games, relaxing, talking with people, having some nice meals. But some tzaddikim get a little carried away, and they start, learning, even begin on Shabbos. They'll make the whole Shabbos. I remember when I was younger, a person who I was friends with in yeshiva, or Charusa, I was friends with him. He went to my Rosh Yeshiva and he asked him, there's a Zohar that says that when you learn Torah on Shabbos, you get 1,000 times the scar of learning during the week. He was a married avrich, a young married avrich at that time. My wife wants me to spend time with her on Shabbos. What should I do? I want to learn Torah on Shabbos, get the reward. So the Rosh Yeshiva told him, he said, work it out that you should, talk to her and maybe try to impress upon her how important it is to get this schar. She'll join in the schar and things like that. But I believe when you're spending your Shabbos, especially you're married and you have kids, you got to be spending it with your family. And people who I've heard about it, or stories about certain Gedolim, that they would, or Steinman, he would leave, he'd wake up early, have daven nates, learn before nates, daven nates, come home for the first meal, then maybe walk around the block, have the second meal, and learn, and then you have the second, you have shalosh shudas before, like the earliest time you could have shalosh shudas, right after chatzos or whatever. He would finish that, talk to his wife for 5 minutes, and then go learn from like 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock Shabbos. And I learned Be'iyun. When you're learning Be'iyun on Shabbos, if you want to learn Torah on Shabbos, I don't learn Torah on Shabbos at all. I don't learn anything on Shabbos. I can see if you're learning, surface Torah Bekias, maybe it's okay on Shabbos. But if you're learning Be'iyun, that's already a violation of resting on Shabbos. You're not resting. It's a lot of effort and concentration to learn something analytically on Shabbos. I believe that's Machal Shabbos B'tzina also. I'm not saying only tzaddikim are, but it's an example of somebody that's Machal Shabbos B'tzina, not for Hesia, because you're violating the idea of Shabbos is to rest your mind is also very important, not just rest your body, rest your mind. When you're learning Be'iyun, or even if you're learning many hours B'kiyas on Shabbos, that's not called resting, in my opinion, and that's called Machal Shabbos B'tzina. You're considered Yisrael. We learn from the Pasuk like Tanakam. However, it's called Shabbos B'tzina, so be careful. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.